Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Carmel Clay Board of Parks and Recreation. It's Tuesday, April 14th, and it's 6:13. Who is taking our role? Actually, yes. Oh, Jonathan, thanks. Sorry, I'm like looking. Sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize in advance. I'm sorry. Jonathan, please take the roll.
No problem. Andrew Bradford.
Present.
Jim Garrettson.
Present.
Jen Christunis.
Here.
Kristen Coca.
Here.
Katie Mueller.
Here.
Josh Orahood. Reedy Shukla. Mark Westermeyer. And Jonathan Blake present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. I'll call the meeting to officially order 6:14. If we could all stand and say the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Curtis or Eric, do we have any comment cards from the public this evening? No? Okay. Thank you. And then we will move to staff reports. Curtis?
Thank you, Madam President. Staff reports are included in your packets. Happy to answer any questions that you have. Also wanted to point out that the quarterly contract log is also included this month, so please review it. If you have any conflicts or anything that you need to disclose, please let us know. We'll work with legal counsel and we'll get you the necessary paperwork. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Perfect. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Curtis on the staff reports? And before I move on, sorry, does anyone have any questions?
Madam President, does that include the Gift Fund 853 report in this section?
Yes.
Just curious, Curtis, I noticed a nice $25,000 revenue in invasive species management / restoration. Did you get a grant for that, or was that just the overall program revenue?
I'll defer to Eric.
Yeah.
That is a grant. So in the monetary gifts and grants, that'll be listed in there as well. But Carmel Clay Parks Foundation offers us a grant, typically annually, for invasive species removal specifically. And so that's one that they did this year, was up that to $25,000 for this year. So, yeah.
Nice. Awesome. Thanks.
Any further questions? We do thank the foundation for supporting our invasive species removal. All right. Finance Committee, I know we have not met. I know Mark is the chair. Curtis, do you see a need for us to meet within this next month?
I think to be determined. Mark had a question last month regarding net income and some of the trends in the 12-month trailing past graphs. We have had some dialogue. He and I do plan to sit down probably when he gets back from North Carolina, and then we'll make a determination if we need to have a full Finance Committee meeting or not, if that's okay.
Yep, that's fine. Just keep us in the loop if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And then we'll move on to the minutes. Jonathan, if you don't mind.
Yep. Madam President, I move that we approve the minutes of the Park Board meeting of March 10, 2026.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan and Andrew. Any questions? All those in favor of Jonathan's motion?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Moving on to the financial reports, standing in for our treasurer will be Katie.
Yes, I move to acknowledge receipt of the consolidated financial report for February 2026. Is that supposed to be February or March?
February.
Okay, February, sorry.
Second.
And then one more, I move to acknowledge receipt of the P&L statements for March 2026.
Second.
Thanks, Katie and Jim, for the acknowledgement of the financials. Any questions on those this evening? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Andrew, did you
Yes,
say?
aye.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. Perfect. Those pass with unanimously. Moving on to claims. Katie?
I move to approve the claim sheet dated April 14th, 2026, and I move to approve payroll wages and liabilities for payroll dates March 6th, 2026 and March 20th, 2026.
Second?
Yes, Curtis, could you double check for me? Jim saying on our agenda, it says March 13th and March 27th. On the motion, it's March 6th and March 20th.
The payroll should have been the 13th and the 27th. If we can just amend the motion.
Yep. Katie, can you amend the motion to?
Is it for payroll for
Yep.
Okay.
You can just restate it, restate your motion.
I move to approve payroll wages and liabilities for payroll dates March 13th and March 27th, 2026.
Thank you, Jim. So Katie's motion, and Jim, I believe you approved both, is that, or the claims and payroll. All those in, excuse me. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to monetary gifts, grants, partnerships, and sponsorships. Eric?
Thank you. Have quite a list for you on this one for last month. So in total, we received $33,134.52. So a variety of gifts and grants, sponsorships throughout the month. So we received quite a few that funneled through the foundation. So $750 through the foundation for the Unified 5K that we offer through our adaptive programs. Also had a donation of $4,000 to the Unified 5K through the foundation, specifically from the Bernal family. And then Centier Bank also sponsored for the Unified 5K for $1,000. We received our quarterly sponsorship from Scent Hound for our Monon dog pot station supplies for $500. Received, I had mentioned before, there was a young girl who had a birthday party who collected money for World Habitat Day. So a lot of that money then got funneled through the foundation as their efforts to give that to the department. So then the foundation has turned that back over to us to use. So total for that was $234.52. And then had another kind of random donation for $50 that again went through the foundation for our adaptive programs. And then, as I mentioned earlier, as Andrew asked about, the foundation gave their annual invasive species grants to the department for $25,000. And Geico Homes and Remodeling is sponsoring the pickleball courts at Meadowlark for $1,500. And our anonymous donation of $100 for staff appreciation. So there you go.
Thank you. At this time, I'll take a motion.
I move to accept the monies as received.
Second.
Thank you, Katie and Jonathan. That was quite a month, Eric.
Yeah, it was.
And we thank all those involved in donations and sponsorships and grants. Fantastic, fantastic work. Any questions from anyone, comments? Okay, all those in favor of Katie's motion?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries.
One last thing with
sorry.
that too, since Michael's not here for his director's report, I also want to mention that we also received, last month, we got word from the Indiana Department of Natural Resources, their Indiana Trails program. We applied for a grant, so we received an award for $400,000 to start construction for the White River Greenway South Extension, so starting at the Burr Oak Bridge area and continuing to work south along property that's either ours or the city's. So that'll be in kind of process and everything, but we did get word that we did receive that grant, which is a fairly significant grant. So
Fantastic, fantastic
we'll
work.
give you guys more details on that later on, but wanted to at least mention it.
Thank you. We'll move on to new business, consideration of Resolution B-2026-003. Curtis?
Thank you, Madam President. Tonight, I'm asking the Park Board to consider Resolution B-2026-003, which is the special purchase of visitor counters for park properties. If you're not aware, our department currently utilizes visitor counters through a company called EcoCounter. We have these throughout the park system to measure trail and park usage. So when Michael provides you a number like 6.3 million visitors in 2025, that's not a number that we just make up in thin air. It's actual data that we've received throughout the year from these counters. We use the counters to support planning, operational decisions, and future capital investments. The ones that we have now, they've outlived their useful life. Many of them are failing. They need to be replaced. They're also an older model that require manual extraction of the data, which in essence basically means we have to send someone out into the field with a USB stick. They collect the data, they extract it, they come back to the office, they upload it to a computer and into a spreadsheet, and that's kind of how we manage the information that we're receiving. During the 2026 budget proposal, we did propose to the City of Carmel, who provided us funds via capital lease, to upgrade those counters to a newer automatic cloud-connected system. These upgraded devices transmit usage data directly to a secure cloud platform, and then we have that information available to us in real time. This is also substantially similar to the system that the city is already utilizing. They also have eco counters. They just have the newer model counters available to them. I don't think I have to go into great depth to explain how this is going to create many operational efficiencies. It's going to reduce staff time. We think it's a win for the department. EcoCounter is the sole source provider. That's why Park Board Legal Counsel put together a special purchase resolution and why this is being proposed to the Park Board in that format this evening. If approved, the total cost that would be financed via capital lease would be $126,643.75. With that, I'll answer any questions that you have. These do come with a 2-year manufacturer warranty. If we receive them, we're hoping to have them in place by the time the busy summer season gets underway. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Curtis. Who has questions?
I move to approve resolution B-2026-003.
Second.
Thank you, Jim and Katie. I did have one question before we move into approval. How many counters are we talking about? I didn't see that number.
That's a
Sorry.
great question. I want to say it's around 40 total
Okay.
in our parks and on our trails. We were able to reduce it by about 8 because the cost was pretty crazy, but we eliminated a few trails that aren't as heavily used, and we're getting the data from. We felt like we were almost double counting some of the data, so we eliminated 8 of them, but it's around 40.
And then what was the lifespan of our current ones? Like, how long did they last? Like 10 years or?
We've
8?
we've had them for 8 to 10 years probably.
Okay.
Seems about right.
I
Okay.
have one quick question.
Oh, yeah, Katie.
About how much time do you think this is going to save? Seems like extremely significant.
A lot. I don't know exactly, but I will tell you that it is quite the process. I mean,
Yeah.
we literally send somebody out to 30 to 40 locations, and they're, uploading, getting the data, and then bringing it back and uploading it. It takes a lot of time, and they're not doing it every day. So I mean, we're probably doing it every quarter right now. So it's not like we're having to send somebody out every single day to do that. But with this system, we'll have real time data. So it just, it's going to create a ton of efficiencies.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
Awesome.
That counter by Vaslo's, is that?
That actually is one of the City of Carmel's. It's the same type of counter, but that one is managed by the City of Carmel.
And the rest of them are similar to that?
The ones that we would be getting are substantially similar. Yes. We won't have the elaborate, they have that digital, their data feeds directly to that digital kiosk and it shows how many people have gone past that particular counter. We aren't going to have anything that elaborate, but we'll have the data coming to our computers in real time, just like that one, counts the information.
Now, that counts in both directions.
Correct. Yep.
Do you put separate counters away from the one that we see? They pass them and then it registers?
Yeah, so we wouldn't have a counter. We'd have a counter at like a specific park entrance. And if there are multiple park entrances, some of them have counters in different locations. But so like West Park, for example, it's going to have a handful of different counters. And then they have algorithms that help you ensure that you're not double counting and some of that different stuff. So I'm fairly confident that the numbers that we're getting are pretty accurate.
I
Thank-
just had one more.
Oh, yeah.
Quickly. The manufacturer, how long do they think, what is the lifespan of the newer ones?
I would
They
imagine it's
estimate.
pretty similar. Morgan, I know that you're working, I know Morgan's not part of this meeting, but Morgan is with IT. And I don't know how long they've had their system, but I know they've had minimal issues with it.
Minimal issues. A lot of it is sometimes the cell carriers change technology. Similar timeframe to the last, 5 to 8 years.
So even though sorry, since you're not on camera, do you mind, or microphone either, do you mind repeating?
Yeah, so 5 to 8 years is what it sounds like. It's pretty common.
Perfect. Well, any other questions? Perfect. Thanks for all of that information. Jim's motion with Katie's second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Motion carries. Let's move on to the consideration of Second Amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding. Curtis, I'm assuming that you'll take care of this for
I'm
us?
going to do my best to knock all these out this evening, so.
Okay.
Like Jen, Madam President, noted, we are asking the Park Board to consider a second amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Carmel regarding the management of park projects funded through the infrastructure bonds. The original MOU established the framework for Carmel Clay Parks and Recreation. The Park Board specifically, their involvement in the design and construction of design park projects funded through the $110 million lease rental bonds approved by the City of Carmel. Through the MOU, the Park Board was granted sole authority over the scoping, contracting, bidding, and day-to-day management of the park projects. We've had one amendment to this already, which was adding streetscaping improvements and enhancements along River Road between Haverton Way and 146th Street. And the second amendment expands the scope even further. It adds 3 additional projects that the Park Department would oversee. These include some improvements at Hazel Landing, particular to the entry drive. Right now, it's stone. It's like driving on the moon at times. We have to regularly grade it to keep it, in a good enough shape where people can actually drive to and from the park. We also have some minor trail improvements included in our plans for that improvement as well. We'll also be overseeing phase 2 of the Japanese Garden improvement project, and then the cost associated with the relocation of the historic structure, commonly referred to as the Blue School, from 3848 East 106th Street to Gray Road Park. If approved, the amendment includes a provision authorizing the Parks Director and CEO to execute the agreement on behalf of the Park Board. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
And although it's not attached, it's a very short amendment. It just literally lists the projects as the first amendment did list the one project.
This will also go to BPW as well, right?
It does, it
Yeah.
will, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
this
and
and-
City Legal has approved it,
Yeah.
right?
So City Legal has approved it. If the Park Board signs off on it this evening, it will also go back to BPW to have the second amendment approved as well. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Are there any questions? Jim?
This is located near the school and the library, right? The Japanese garden.
Correct. Well, no, the Japanese Garden is adjacent to City Hall.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I apologize. That's the Chinese garden.
Yes, the proposed Chinese Garden site is near the library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you're talking about is for the Japanese garden.
That's right. This would be Phase 2 development of the Japanese garden, the South Pond specifically.
Okay. Looks kind of naked right now.
It needs some upgrades. Predominantly serving as stormwater overflow right now, or additional stormwater capacity at this time. And it'll continue to serve in that capacity, but it just needs to be dressed up a bit.
Jen,
Jonathan?
I know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. As part of the continued renovation of the Japanese garden, Phase 2, I'm assuming something's going to be done with that bridge.
Yes, that was one of my first questions when we first started talking about Phase 2. Would the zigzag bridge be raised to a level so that it did not go underwater? And the answer to that is it absolutely will be. Either that or it will need to be removed, one of the two. My assumption is that it will be raised, though.
I haven't tried to traverse it yet, but I might try
I
before
wouldn't
it's-
recommend it.
When you finally put vegetation around this, are you going to put any, what are the trees they have in Washington?
Cherry blossoms?
Yeah.
So HK, who's the designer of the space, he'll have a lot of say in kind of what the landscape plan is. My assumption is that he will likely want to do that. I can't say for certain yet, though, just because I haven't seen a rendering or any of the plans.
We request,
We could absolutely request that.
more than request, we could say that's what we want.
Yeah, we'll have some influence.
Some.
Well, if
We're
I can,
paying
if I
for
can
it.
if I can interject, I've had to deal with the contracting
Yeah.
with Karisu-san, and he is the designer of Japanese gardens, probably in the world, but certainly in North America. And he is very finicky about
Yes.
exactly how they are to look and exactly what they are to include. He's a real stickler for I'm not going to use the right word here. It's not originality, it's the tradition. And in Japan, and it's pretty difficult to make I have not made suggestions, but I've been around those who have made suggestions about the design. And he's pretty strong-willed about his thought process, and it kind of happens as it happens.
The city and the Carmel Redevelopment Authority are actually providing funding for Phase 2. We'll have oversight of the contracts and some of that different stuff, but like Brian said, he is pretty particular.
Is he Japanese?
Yes, he
He has
is.
to have a translator, actually, yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
I just don't want to make a promise, Jim, that potentially might not be kept. I would be shocked if he didn't include them, but I also can't say for certain what that design's going to look like yet, just because we haven't gotten that far.
I think the pool on the other side, it's already done, is beautiful.
It's absolutely
I
beautiful.
think it's one of the most beautiful parts of the township.
Yeah, and he is back, or he was supposed to be back this week. I just got back in the office Monday. There is some additional plantings that go on the North Pond, and I believe there were some additional cherry blossoms that were going to be included in that. So that it's going to look even better here soon.
Curtis, the costs associated with the Blue School, I think that was an unanticipated project for this year. So I just wanted to get some clarity around if we've got any expectations on what that's going to take out of the budget. Is that going to circumvent anything else that we had planned? And then I'm curious about sort of the ongoing maintenance
Yeah.
and responsibilities we've got once it gets to Gray Park.
The funds are going to be fully provided by the City of Carmel's infrastructure bonds that they passed at the latter part of 2024. It's unanticipated, but I don't think there's going to be a monetary cost to the department.
Okay. And then ongoing, now it sounds like we're going to be taking ownership of that building. So
There are also some discussions with potential tenants of that space. And I think what I've heard thus far, and I haven't been overly involved in these conversations, so bear with me, this is somewhat secondhand, is that the City of Carmel is committing to providing us with funds to maintain the space once the school has been relocated.
okay.
And there will be a tenant of that space, at least theoretically speaking.
a tenant of the building at
Correct.
the Gray Road location.
Yep.
Okay.
Has the Historical Society been involved in any of this?
They have been. Yeah, they've been involved in the conversations.
Good.
Yep.
Great.
I mean, that's its value.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Thanks for all that. I believe we need a motion.
Madam President, I move that the board approve the Second Amendment to the Memorandum of Understanding with the City of Carmel as presented and authorize the Director of the Department to execute the same on behalf of the board.
Second.
Thank you, Jonathan and Andrew. Any further questions or discussion? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Moving on to consideration of assignment and assumption of the agreement for design and construction. I believe, Curtis, you're taking this one as well?
I am. Yeah, I've been working with Brian and KGR on this one. And Brian, you can jump in if I miss anything. But basically, Clay Township has entered into an agreement for design and construction service with Caruso LLC. They did that in October 16th of 2023 for the expansion of the City of Carmel's Japanese Garden. The project has progressed under the township oversight. At least phase one of that project has, and it has been funded through township bond proceeds. The city and the Carmel Redevelopment Authority are going to be funding phase two. So they'll be providing additional funding for the completion of that second phase. In coordination with the additional funding sources, the Carmel Clay Board of Parks and Recreation is going to oversee the remaining work associated with the project. That's in essence what you guys just approved. Rather than initiating a new agreement with Caruso LLC, legal counsel is recommending executing an assignment and assumption agreement to transfer the existing agreement from the township to the park board. That's attached as attachment 1 in your park board packets. This approach would allow the project to continue under the existing contract, but it transitions the project administration and oversight to the park board. Clay Township is going to remain responsible for any obligations, payments, liabilities incurred under the agreement prior to the effective date of the assignment. And then following the assignment, the park board is going to assume responsibility for the continued administration, oversight, and completion of the project, including any costs associated or incurred after the effective date. But again, this project, phase 2 of this project, is being funded by the City of Carmel and the Carmel Redevelopment Authority. We are recommending approval of the assignment and assumption agreement. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have, and I'm sure Brian might weigh in as well.
Cheryl, add a few things. The township is willing to do this and will consider the resolution of assignment next Tuesday, the 17th, I think is the date. And so that's set to go. And we worked with CTI Construction and David Ford, who was the project manager on all the impact projects, including this one. He's the person who's been dealing directly with Caruso-san and his team, and he felt this was the least confusing way for them to start taking orders from a different set of people. And the park department will still work with CTI Construction and David Ford on the administration of the project, so there'll be no change with respect to Caruso-san regarding who's in charge.
Brian, thank you for that information. Does anyone on the board have any further questions or discussion for Curtis or Brian? All right. At this time, I'll take a motion.
I'd move to approve the assignment and assumption agreement for the Japanese Garden project and authorize the director and CEO to execute the agreement.
Second.
Thank you, Andrew and Jonathan. One last time, any further questions? Okay, seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And that concludes our old business. Mr. Bosma, we will move into the attorney's report this evening.
I think
Oh,
you've
sorry.
got- I believe you have one.
Yeah, we have
more.
one old business
I'm
item.
sorry. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
Uh,
Just got ahead of myself and I wanted to hear the attorney's report. Okay. Going back to the old business consideration of endorsement number 2.
Perfect.
Sorry, Curtis.
No worries. Thank you, Madam President. In May of 2025, the Park Board approved a master services agreement with CTI Construction, who in essence serves as our program manager and owner's representative. for construction inspection services for projects that are funded through the 2024 City of Carmel Infrastructure Bond. Projects are added to the master agreement by what are called written endorsements. Endorsement number 1 is approved in July of 2025 for Bear Creek Park, Smoky Row and Ironwood Park, Autumn and Veterans Greenway Trail, White River Greenway Streetscape Improvement Projects. This evening, we are requesting endorsement number 2 to the master services agreement to include additional owner's representative and construction inspection services for the Japanese Garden Phase 2 project. Now that it's been moved over to the Park Department, we want to keep Dave Ford and CTI involved as our OR on this project. The cost to do that is $77,600. This would be funded, these fees would be funded through the City of Carmel Infrastructure Bond, so there's no cost to the Park Department, but it just keeps CTI on board moving forward. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that you have.
Thank you, Curtis. Any questions from the park board? I believe CTI has been our owner's rep on several different projects
They
as well,
have been,
too,
and
right?
we have a really good relationship. They do a phenomenal job, and this continues that relationship and they were actually the owner's rep through Clay Township for Phase 1 development of Japanese Garden, so they're also acclimated and used to working with HK as well, so this makes a lot of sense.
Perfect.
If I can just add,
Yeah.
their relationship with the township sort of evolved over the 3 sets of impact projects that were funded by 3 different bond issues, and we ultimately all decided, let's just make you you're more than an owner's representative here. You're operating the whole program, and that is very similar to the agreement, the master agreement that we put together for them. They serve as an owner's representative, but they're also doing inspection work and some other items.
Thank you, yeah.
As designated by these endorsements and by their engagements that are attached. So I work with a lot of engineers, a lot of construction folks. I've been really impressed with CTI, Dave and Rebecca Harden, the person that does all the administrative work, keeps track of the budgets. It's not easy, and they're pretty seamless. So pleased that they're working with the park board as well on these projects.
Absolutely.
And just to remind everybody, the impact fees, that is how ultimately we were able to redo all of our playgrounds, I would say.
Yeah, so
No, it was really 3
More?
separate bond issues by Clay Township, who we entered. It's kind of unique that I represent them and you, so we could really coordinate things. There was a project management agreement entered into between the township, who agreed to fund the projects, 3 different sets of projects totaling more than $35 million, I think, for parks alone. And then they funded, and on behalf of the board, Michael was pretty much so the project contact on it, working with CTI and making owner decisions on behalf of the township, unless it was a big ownership decision that the trustee had to make.
yeah, Clay Township did call that program the Clay Township Impact Program, or CTIP. So that's why you've heard that phrase quite a bit. The CTI was our owner's rep and did provide inspection services for a number of those projects. And like Brian said, we have a really good relationship with them. They do a really good job.
So they did a 2019 bond issue, a 2020 bond issue, and a 2022 bond issue. So they've been great partners with the city and especially with the park board to fund a lot of what you all have accomplished here in the last several years. It's been your team that's accomplished it, but it was funded by the township.
Yes. Does anyone have thank you for that information and, just bringing it back, that we've worked with them, not on small projects, rather large projects. Does anyone have any questions or any other comments?
Can you expand a little bit where they cite the reimbursable expenses line item? They've got a $50,000 cost there. Are those approved by us prior to expenditure, or is that a not to exceed? Just curious what goes into that
That's a
50,000.
not
It's a not to exceed.
Not to
amount,
exceed
yeah.
50,000.
And I did ask him about that. I think his hope is to come in under the 77.6. That's why he made it reimbursable.
Okay.
So
Some of that, a portion of that isn't like copying and mileage.
Yeah.
It's like subcontracts.
yep.
Okay.
So
That's what I was curious
there are
about.
certain things that it really expedites your construction manager, essentially program manager, to be able to contract for on small items and not have to go through a complete rebidding process. So I didn't see the details on that, but I'm confident that a good portion of that is David Ford calling me and saying, oh my gosh, we've got to do a plumbing issue out here and it's got to be done right away and it's $25,000. What do I have to do? And I'm only going to get quotes. So unless they do it like this and can do it in a reimbursement fashion.
Great. Any exposure, unnecessary risk exposure that we take for them doing subs that haven't come through a formalized process?
What
the
we will
parks?
do is a purchasing resolution. If it's done in a fashion that falls under the special purchasing statute, that's generally what happens. It's an emergency, or there's only one, somebody's already working on the project and we've got to add something. So we'll keep you between the lines on this, as we have for the township in, $65 million total worth of projects since 2019 on behalf of the city.
Brian keeps
Thanks.
us and CTI pretty straight and narrow. I can assure you that.
Glad you've got this partnership.
I almost got David Ford trained to call me before he does it. Almost, very close.
Yeah.
Yes.
Up on Hazeldale, across from Prairie View School, that's just kind of sitting there. Are we making progress on finishing that project?
Talking about Cherry Tree Park?
It's on Hazeldale.
I think it's,
It's on River Road.
Oh, yeah, White River Greenway North Extension. Progress is being made. I'm hoping, I think, right now we're hoping that we have that done by the latter part of May. So they started, the construction company's back in there. They've poured the concrete for the overlook. They're starting some of the final details on the overlook. The paving crew's been back out there. There's some work being done on the restroom. A number of concrete pours have transpired in and around the parking lot. So progress is being made. It will be done this spring. Absolutely. Yes.
And how's Connor Prairie coming on there?
I don't know. That's a great question. We haven't had a lot of dialogue with them lately. A lot of the steps that we took were to get all of our infrastructure in so that theirs didn't disrupt the trail users once they start construction of their site. So I don't know how far along they are or when they're going to start construction on their end, but we're in really good shape. There's a couple of boardwalks on site. All of those will be maintained by the department. Well, the ones that you see that are out there right now are actually part of the White River Greenway North Extension. So those will be maintained by our department, by CCPR. They may have plans to add some additional or add on to the boardwalk in the future, but I can't say for certain.
Do you know what they plan next? What they plan to build, a hotel or?
It's hard to say. I know the food, farm, and energy experience is kind of what I've heard is the priority, but I just don't know kind of what the timeline is. I don't know if I know they've, go ahead, Andrew, if you can chime in.
yeah, I would just share that they're in an active capital campaign. They're probably 5 to 6 years out from any additional building on that
Okay.
side of the property.
It's good to know.
Yeah, and food, farm, and energy is the top priority. Everything else is based on public-private partnerships, and those are being managed behind the scenes, and I don't have a ton of visibility to those anymore.
Is the time dictated by the availability of funding?
Bingo.
Great conversation. I believe I would love to entertain a motion on our consideration of the endorsement for number 2. If anyone would like.
I move the park board authorize the director of Parks and Recreation in coordination with legal counsel to execute endorsement number 2 to the master services agreement with CTI Construction LLC.
Second.
Thank you, Katie and Jonathan. Any further questions on this item? Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And now Mr. Bosma.
You've already heard much of what we've been up to for the last month. Andrew, there was one other thing I thought to answer your question. The liability, if there's some issue, is on CTI.
Great.
Because it's their sub. Our contract is with CTI. Their sub conducts the work. There's something up. CTI's got to see to it that it gets fixed.
Terrific. Thanks.
I can't really think of anything else major that we have going on. A lot of blocking and tackling always with your very active and professional team. Zach Nicely, who appears here, also handles a lot of the day-to-day policy work, and I know there's a couple things moving through right now on that, but no other major issues that I'm aware of. I'm happy to answer any questions. Oh, we've got a couple of old litigation things that are so slow to wrap up because they've been handled by insurance, but plaintiffs' lawyers are not responsive to trying to get things done, even though it would mean some settlement funds from the insurance company to them. Those are still hanging out there. I've kind of quit reporting on them because the report is always they're pending, but just small tort claims that somebody's filed because you're a public entity. So that's about all I have.
Thank you. Any questions for Brian? Okay. Curtis, did you want to say anything for the director's report, or will Michael just send that out?
I'm sure Michael will send something out. I think he was working on it this afternoon, just wasn't able to get it completed. So I will say the Carmel Marathon is transpiring this weekend, and even though it isn't a CCPR event, if you're planning to come to Carmel, there might be some detours in place. So just
Is that
plan
on
your
Saturday
route.
or
That is on Saturday. We're
Saturday?
going to do some social media post around it just to give members of the community center a heads up that, hey, this is going on. You can get to the MCC, but there might be some detours in place, and you might have to take an alternative route. So just want to bring that to the park board's attention.
Thank
But
you.
it's a phenomenal event and has a big draw and should be well attended.
May I add one more thing, Jen?
Sure.
You may have all gotten the same info, but we did receive an email today that they're going to do a grand opening sort of on the Japanese Garden on May the 3rd at 12 o'clock, which coincides with the opening Spring Fest
Thank you.
of Japanese Gardens.
Yeah, I can talk about that a little bit. Yeah, so May 3rd at noon, the Japan Spring Fest is transpiring. You should be receiving invitations from our marketing team here this week, actually. Just signed off on it yesterday. The ribbon cutting will be the grand reopening. Ribbon cutting will be from 12 to 12:30. We'll have speakers from City of Carmel, Clay Township, the Sister City Committee, and Carmel Clay Parks and Rec. I know Michael's going to be involved in that as well. So if you're around, we'd love to see you. I think they're anticipating having a decent showing. So
Is it going to be on the north end?
it will be on the north end, right by not the shelter, but that little gazebo that's kind of in the northeast corner of the park.
And while you're there, they're going to ask the park board members to move some rocks that they're having a little problem with.
Nice. Thank you. Let's move to information items. Plan Commission. Jonathan?
Yeah, really just one thing to report on. At our last committee meeting, which was on March 31st, we approved a renovation of Blue House Bridal at 231 North Range Line. Going to be a really nice renovation of an existing home and then an addition on the back. So that was the only thing that came for us. I know we've got a couple things coming up this next week for the full Plan Commission meeting, but other than that, just little things here and there.
Awesome. Thank you. School Board?
I think the only update I need to make is that we are considering a referendum for the fall due to the effects of SEA 1 from last year. We would be seeing a $94 million loss over a span of 8 years with our school system. So that is not, that will not work for those of us that have kids in school. We know that won't work. We can't make a few little changes here and there to help make that money up. So we have we had a special meeting a couple weeks ago, and we have one next week if the public is interested in attending or watching to see information from our referendum consultant before we make our decision to see what we're going to be doing.
Okay. Thanks, Kristen. Eric, Climate Action Advisory Committee, I believe you met, right?
We did. So we had a meeting last month. Nothing too crazy. We had a couple new members that just had gotten appointed by the city council. So welcome them and some of their expertise. One of them has a huge, long resume in basically like a rocket scientist. So so he was going through his whole resume and his history on climate change and everything, and pretty impressive. So kind of excited to see how some of these new members kind of bring some things to the table for sure. But we also discussed an amendment to the ordinance that created the committee originally. So that's been drafted and will go to city council on Monday, next Monday. So I'll be at that meeting as well. And so that amendment is planned to change the name of the committee to something that's a little bit better suited to what we're really doing. So it's going to be more of the environmental stewardship committee, more so than talking about climate change specifically. So so that's getting proposed, as well as adding a couple seats to the committee, one being an appointee from the library. So the library board having a seat at that table as well. So they have been pretty active in that committee and helping with a couple other things. Plus they do a lot of education components with the environment and climate change and different things. So kind of looking to hopefully welcome them as having an appointee on that committee as well. So so that's the main things that are going on right now. And then our next official meeting will be May 26th, so the day after Memorial Day. So.
Fantastic. Thanks for that. And then Parks Foundation, I don't think that you all have met.
We
have you?
haven't met, no.
All right, and then we'll move to Park Board comments and or discussion. Anyone have anything to say?
I will say for the foundation, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
If you haven't registered for the Family Fun Run, the annual Family Fun Run is there. So this is the second annual. So if you haven't registered for that, take a look at the website and everything. We've got some promotions out there.
Also, information in your park board packets on the fun run as well.
Which website should we go to register or look at?
It's on, so the foundation has a page on CCPR's website.
Okay,
So everything
Awesome.
should be there.
great. Hold on, Kristen was first. Sorry. Wait your turn. Kristen.
Super quick. I wanted to just say how impressed I was by the Japanese gardens. I took my dad as a horticulturist, and I took him there on Sunday, and he was really impressed. I just
Awesome.
thought you all would appreciate that. He
do.
really enjoyed seeing all the changes that have been made.
And if you go at night, we did install the glow rocks on the path, so
Oh.
the path has a little bit of an aura to it. It's kind
Okay.
of cool.
Well, that's fantastic. Jonathan.
Quick question. Have the Monon mixers been announced for this year?
We do have dates. I don't know them off the top of my head. I know that we have them scheduled because I signed the applications to get the permits from the health from the state. So
And typically, so the summer programs are already out for registration now, right?
yeah,
So it should be in the
Should be
summer
out.
guide that's
Okay.
out there right now. So
I can
it should be
probably get
open.
you that answer before we leave tonight.
So if you want to secure a spot, you should be able to.
I do. That's why I'm asking.
So there you go.
Nice.
All right, any final comments or discussion? I just have one last thing. Everyone should have received an email on the park board to RSVP to the workshop. Please make sure that you accept and or decline, respond, yeah?
I'm not getting emails. I know I asked the things to just go to my school board email, but if it's easier, I can have a parks email, but
I didn't get one either.
it's okay.
Okay, get with Curtis, Eric, or we have an IT person here, I'm sure he can help you, so that we can figure this out. The date, Curtis, is sometime in the end of April, I don't know,
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know it off
it's
the top
next
of my head.
Tuesday, next Tuesday, 6 p.m. at the administrative offices. We'll be having a special meeting of the park board, and next Tuesday, April 21st, 6 PM.
The 21st.
Yep.
It's our workshop.
It's our workshop. Yeah, we're gonna be talking 6 PM at the admin office where you picked up your packet. Yeah, we're gonna be talking about some of the ongoing park projects and some other things that we need to discuss. So pretty excited about it. I know Michael's got a presentation prepared already.
We might have your name spelled wrong, maybe.
Nope,
So-
definitely not. No.
Yeah, so,
it's okay.
so definitely get with
I've just been
those-
getting the board packets from the website.
Yeah, so
fine.
definitely get with Eric
Okay.
after the meeting. So that's all I have. I appreciate everyone who is here today. Oh, yes, Curtis.
I have Monon mixer dates.
Oh, okay. So I appreciate everyone who is here, those that are watching online. I know everyone watches online. So exciting. I mean, this is top stuff. So with that being said, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Fantastic. We are adjourned at, sorry, I need a time, 7:04. Thank you.